the Virgin Islands that a lot of collegiate fans in the United States will recognize. Carl Krauser going to be playing the point position for the Virgin Islands tonight. Krauser.
Peace or love. Salute. RMJ. X up. Positive energy. I appreciate y'all. Everybody. Thank you for my new subscribers. As usual. Super right over left. Y'all the best. We doing this together. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate my patient subscribers. My people that's a part of God's light representing. My people that's not afraid to speak up and be different. I appreciate my people that doesn't let anybody pressure them to become a follower and to mock anything that their family has ever taught them and to try to provoke them to carry themselves a different way. Salute to everybody else living their life. I hope everybody listens to this interview. This is my Yinzers interview audio. And I appreciate y'all. If y'all hit the magic like button on my YouTube channel, Carl Krauser, I salute it. I appreciate y'all. So I would like y'all to salute it and show your love. And at the same time, in this interview, can you peep the curved questions? And let me know if I did a good job curving those questions. You already know. It's Carl Krauser. It's King Krauser, the Cruising King. That old black magic, baby. Always love to y'all. Peace and salute. Easy. Bronxdale, what's up, baby? VI one dime.
We're back on the Yinzer Crazy podcast. The Pitt special, as we are highlighting the Pitt Panthers. They're off to a hot start this season. We already brought on a couple icons, and now we got another legend who graced the court for 4 years as a Pitt Panther, and now he's gracing the Yinzer Crazy podcast. Everybody go ahead and throw up the X for me. From the Bronx, New York to the Pete. It's my man Carl Krauser. Carl, hey, somebody's excited. I love it, man. We got an ovation around the city for Carl Krauser. He's giving himself one. I love it, man. We need that kind of energy.
Pittsburgh, everywhere around the cities, I love y'all to death. You already know. Right over left, BX, Quebec. Let's go.
My guy sitting with us on the podcast right now. Dude, I just mentioned it to you. We had Sam Young on the podcast just a little bit ago. He was talking about you. He said that when he came to Pitt, you were the king of Pitt to him. That's kind of like what you were to him. You were the king of Pitt. So I want to know from you, when you came to Pitt out of the Bronx, you're 2002, who was that guy for you? Did you have a guy? Was that a Brandon Knight type, a Julius Page type?
I'm going to tell you, see, look, we had a different mindset. And this is what I want to explain to people about life in different generations. Mm-hmm. When you come from different generations and you're a little older than certain people, I'm I'm older than Brandon Knight, so he used to watch me play AAU as well in Vegas in the Adidas Big Time tournament, and I used to get first team, all Big Team, and we used to go to the double pump tournament down in Los Angeles after that. You know, the double pump tournament. So these guys watch me play, so they got a chance to go to college because of different journeys. So I say that to say this: I already accomplished a lot before I got to Pitt. So these people knew who I was. You get what I'm saying? I already played against pros and finished the pros. I killed the pros already. So I was just pretty much waiting for my time and developing my game while playing collegiate basketball and experiencing and learning how to be more of student athlete, sure, but also more of a student of the game and learning from people who already played in that time. So Brandon taught me a lot about greeting the referees, but just in a different way. He taught me about remembering their names and stuff like that. Was big because they like to be groomed a little bit. They like to be talked to in a little different way. So of course you want to get on your side. That's a smart thing. You get what I'm saying? And that it's a testament to how smart he was on the court. So I took things like that to heart because I learned from everybody. I'm not just one of the guys that pick and learn from different people. So I say that because he knew I was going to be in there till like 4 or 5 in the morning anyway.
Wow.
While everybody's at the store. And then I would come back, you know, I learned how to turn the lights off. I turn the lights off and I shut the gym and I'd be out. You know, and that's how it was because I was dedicated to my craft. I already studied too much. I already put in too much work. I already put myself into too much danger to give up. So when I met Sam Young, I'd seen his dedication. I seen his hunger. And I knew he was a special person. I seen his mom. She put the work in. I seen everything else. So I knew it was just in my heart to pay it forward, to give back to my brother. And I had to. And I told him when we was riding around in that gray Lincoln he had with the black tent. When we was riding around on there at Atwood Street. And I told him, you have to get out of here. You have to get out of here. You have to stay a couple of years, work on your game, get out of here. Same thing like I told DeJuan Blair and the rest of them. From DeJuan Blair to Brad Wanamaker to Lamar Patterson to everybody. I'm telling you, I have this connection with these people because these are my brothers.
Man, shout out Atwood Street. I had some buddies who lived on Atwood Street. That's great. They'll love hearing that as well.
And pizza on Atwood Street. Shout out Antoon.
Damn, man, throwing it back. Shout out Antoon's, a $5 pizza. You ain't kidding, man. You needed your energy to play in those games, right? So everybody had to get a $5 pizza every now and then. Come on, man.
They fed me when I only had $1 to my name for 2 months and they took care of me.
Listen, man, you talked about some of the names and players that you played with in your journey. You guys really helped pave the way for these newer generations of Pitt basketball teams and Pitt basketball fans like myself, right? Somebody in their 30s who grew up as a teenager idolizing you guys, watching you guys play. Even today in your 30s, what does that mean to you when you meet people, when people come up to you and are like, man, you're the reason I love Pitt basketball? That's got to have a serious impression on you, right?
Yes, it does, man. You know, it sometimes brings me to tears, you know, like when nobody's looking, you know, sometimes because they don't know, a lot of people don't know what you've been through, like in your journey, you know, things that, every different thing that you've been through. I'm talking about in your household. I'm talking about to get to practices, to school. I'm talking about just to make it home day to day, or just to smile sometimes, you know, and growing up in the Bronx, New York at the time I grew up in. And in those generations in the 90s and in the late 80s and the 90s, you know, everything was physical, was very violent. So making it through that and getting the chance to see my goals, you know, see everything I said through, it felt great because my kids at home, my other people that I met in different cities and states playing AAU or just in different encounters, prep school or anything else, these people actually seen how determined I was not to let anybody or anything throw me off track. And I take that to heart because that's what gains fans. People that see and appreciate your talent, people that see and appreciate your hunger and dedication. They see that you're different. You're willing to go the extra mile to stay out of trouble or to get to this workout or to get to this practice or to learn from this person or to call this person. It's that serious.
Yeah, a lot more goes into it than just the dribbling and X's and O's, right?
Right, and to hear these people shout out from the street, hey, crowd's over, and throw up the X. Hey, crowd! Calling the crowd. Hey, crowd! I'll be like, oh, baby. You know, even the ladies, the older ladies, they stop. And she, you know, to the ladies, you better keep throwing up that X, baby. You better keep throwing. And you know, I'm just saying, it's real love when I'm out here teaching these kids because you know how many fights I've stopped when they're coming off these school buses or different things, different stuff people don't even know that I do. You know how many people I stopped from ODing in cars or hit people. I say police officers out here and different things, but these are things that I want people to know that's installed in me. So when I see other people going through anything, I'm going to show that love because we're all together. It doesn't matter what city or state I came from. I look at everybody as people, so I want to take care of my people.
Man, the last couple times I was able to see you was I was in Pittsburgh a couple years ago. during the tough year when Kevin Stallings was around, and you were kind of hanging back watching the games, and you aren't kidding. I would see you walk along the baseline, and even people in the crowd behind me would start throwing up the X. You knew who was coming around right when that X was being thrown up, man. And that's something that you obviously took from the Bronx, I should say, growing up in New York. You were very prideful in that. Still take a lot of pride in that, of course. Was winning the Big East tournament in New York the best feeling you ever had as a Pitt Panther?
You know what? That was actually a great feeling, but it wasn't the best one.
Okay.
It wasn't. It was funny because I'm like a guy that's goal oriented. I'm goal driven.
Mm-hmm.
I watch Michael Jordan and Kobe and those guys. So I try to emulate certain things with winning and not giving up and competing as hard as I could. And it's amazing to know. Like, I used to take my practice films home. I used to take my game films home. I used to take all of that home right after the games and watch them right. Like, I was that determined, so I was that serious with it. So to see this, it's like a super blessing. You know what I mean? It's like a great feeling. I thank God every day that I had certain people out there, like the people, the Yinzers, the younger guys, the younger people, the younger generation still come up to me. They're 19 years old, 27 years old. They're coming up to me throwing up the X. And I'm like, wow, what would he know about the X? But he said, hey, my dad took me to this game.
Yep.
My father, and you know what? That means a lot to me because they're connected. They were invested. And they believe, just like we put on that t-shirt, we believe because we were all we got, just like we said again. And that's all we had. And we fought for that since we had Aero Pastel to the real D, to T-Mac, to everything else. You get what I'm saying? It was a journey. It was a real journey. And I thank people, all the great people of Pittsburgh, all the great fans surrounding areas and other cities and states and around different countries. We appreciate you because without your belief, man, it wouldn't be possible. But God is blessed, and thank you for everything. We're
talking with the Pitt Panther legend himself, Carl Krauser, on the Yinzer Crazy podcast. Man, before we get into some of the stuff that you're doing now off the court with your channel and whatnot, I want you to talk to me a little bit about Jeff Capel, because this is a Pitt show that, we're touching on, the program kind of turning around a little bit, feeling like it's headed back to the glory days of the 2000s, early 2000s when you were there, and guys like Sam and Brad Wanamaker, Ashton Gibbs, some of those guys that you mentioned before. Jeff Capel, I'm sure you've probably met him once or twice just because you're around the building often. It seems like he has these boys headed in the right direction, and I'm sure you're excited watching them from your bird's eye view.
I'm going to be honest with you. I have to keep it infinity, like I say on my show. I appreciate all of these players, all of these guys that come through here, all of these different unique players that come and bless us on the court with their talent and bless us in the classroom with being student athletes and taking it serious and representing their families in real ways. I am always going to be in support of those young players playing. You get me? And sometimes I'm not going to be in 100% support of the coach. Like I wasn't in 100% of support with Coach Stallings because it just wasn't enough. You know what I mean? So
sure.
I still supported. I still was screaming. I still had my Pitt shirts on, and I still represented. And that's how it's going to be. And that doesn't matter who the coach is. Like, you never know if Coach K was going to stay here. You don't know about his longevity. Nobody's a genie. You get what I'm saying? I know I'm that old magic, but I don't have that wizardry to know and tell the future if another man is going to be in his job for a certain amount of time.
Right.
You get me? Seeing these young players work as hard as they're working, I'm super proud of them. Like, I only ask, and I've only been asking Coach Capel on Instagram in different ways, and I mean, like, through the media, through phone calls, like, I always wanted to be involved in helping these young players because I knew I could have helped speed up the process of the positive growth of the Pittsburgh Panther University basketball team. Like, right. It's just simple because I am the person that helped us win, that helped put us on the map. I helped give us success, and I want to continue to see us have success. So I always want to be appreciating where and who my alliance and my loyalty stands with, but it has to be reciprocated. You get what I'm saying? I don't want to see Steph Curry, Tatum, and talking to my Pitt brothers, and there's no other Pitt brothers speaking to these players.
Right. It almost sounds like you're a little disappointed, Carl, that you aren't on staff in some regards, in some form of player development.
Oh man, look, disappointed. It's funny, like not disappointed, because I knew what was going to happen.
Right.
I think that I have PG vision. I knew that was going to happen, but I feel bad when, even if I'm not on staff, at least allow me to interact with the players, because this has always been going on. This has always been transpiring. We have had this connection. I've always given people their nicknames. I always talk to them about different things on and off the court that you can't. You know, I have a different type of connection with them.
For sure.
You get me? So I want to be the person that, hey, I can help get something out of another player, or I can help develop another player, or, you know, help them understand certain things that you might have going on. It's only a plus to you in the university. It's not hurting you. Some people they feel challenged. You get me?
Uh-huh.
And they feel lessened, and when somebody else that has talent, that has that, you know, different alpha male mindset, but also knows what he's talking about, they feel threatened by that. And what I'm trying to tell everybody, and what I'm saying right now on your show, I'm only for helping people. I'm only for the positive energy and the positive vibes, and I want Pitt to do well. But I want you to learn from the past so you can succeed in the future.
Yeah, and I think you're certainly a great person to help pass that message along to current Pitt athletes. And it sounds like it might not be reciprocated right now by the Panthers staff. But I'm not here to make assumptions, man. I'm here to talk about you and your glory days and the return to prominence with this Pitt team. I know you're doing a lot of good things off the court, man, including this really cool YouTube channel you got, and you're doing you're still hooping in some capacity, right? You're teaching some kids, and talk about your own kids who are getting into basketball now, I'm sure, right?
Well, I'm in development stages of helping people like on the road, starting camps abroad, getting my Respect My Journey training on the road. You know, a lot of people want me to do camps. They want to know the pricing of different things. And I just want to be there for them. I want to be able to consistently be there for them, so there isn't any stain in my name, because I take this serious and I want the development of these players. It doesn't matter where you come from. I want it to be a great experience. And the Respect My Journey, you know, that is more than a podcast. Mm-hmm. That is my heart, my blood, sweat, and tears. And that was something I vowed to continue through the passing of my mother, Joy Mays, and the growing of my son, Jaden Krauser. And I understood I had to be a better person and more consistent and more positive in their lives and other people, my family's lives, so I can help other people. Mm-hmm. So with becoming a personal trainer in Dallas, Texas, with becoming a personal trainer out here in Pittsburgh, that, you know, it broadened my horizons with just as far as health and education. But at the same time, I knew that a lot of basketball players were lacking different skill sets, and they even just your muscular set. A lot of these kids, they are very thin. They are very thin, and I don't understand if you have a buff weight trainer, or if you have a real buff kind of, you know, just a deep size. Why wouldn't that show on the players? Why are there so many slim players?
They need Antoon's Pizza.
I'm telling you, man, if they want to get it, double cheese, get it. I'm praying.
Oh.
But literally, I just, you know, some of these players, like, they don't want to stay in the time clock situation at the end of the game. Sure. Some of these players don't know how to win. Some of these players don't know when to give it to the guy that's side. Some of these players don't really understand the play to run again to get that other player open after you get scored. Or the COVID, you can't stand up. That's not the truth. That isn't the truth. You can stand up and work with teammates. Remember how it was? Everybody gets up and take a teammate on. That's how it was. Support the team.
Yep.
You get me? So I want to see more camaraderie. I want to see more teamwork. I want to see more passion, heart. I want to see more player development in the game of basketball. But I just want to see people more passionate and appreciative of what they're doing.
All good stuff from a Pitt icon. Hey, man, we got hundreds of listeners out there. You know, obviously hoping for thousands on this particular podcast because Pitt is hot right now. Tell them where they can find you right now. Subscribe to your YouTube channel, right?
Yes, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel, Carl Krauser. You also can find me on IG and Facebook on Carl BX Krauser. It's all salute, all positive energy to the University of Pittsburgh, to New York City, the Bronx, Bronxdale Project, the Yinzers. Salute to y'all. Always love to Michael Jordan. Thank you for having me on. Salute to everybody, and right over left, we the best. Thank you. Always love.
My guy, you can't see it right now, but we're both throwing up the X for you.
I got you right back, baby. Salute.